How's it going, everyone, and welcome back to another video. I'm your boy, that boy Oz. Today we're at the DMV. I have to come and renew my registration tags, and I do this every year. I'm always late. I always get my registration renewal notice really early like everybody else, but I always end up losing that thing. And I always find it when I know I'm already late. I'm terrible about it. But anyway, we're at the DMV. We're waiting, you guys. And I thought, let's go ahead and reshoot for like the 4th time the introduction to Turn, the live rosin, the solventless pods. And so without further ado, you guys, let's just go ahead and jump right into it. So what we're going to be trying on today is we're going to be trying out these 2 pods right here. One of these is pink menthol, and then the other one right here is rainbow bright. I already finished the rainbow bright. It was so damn good. And I was kind of like hesitating. I was kind of dreading trying the pink menthol, but now that I opened it again and I tried it again, like I said, 4th take. I've been smacking on this pod for a while now, and I actually really enjoy it. So without further ado, let's talk about first what the difference is between their solventless pods, because we've already talked about their live resin and their botanicals. Basically, they use a solvent such as like CO2. They use propanes, butanes, anything like that, any kind of gas that they can use to extract the oil from the cannabis. But solventless is without solvent. So you guys are asking yourself, well, what does that process mean? And why am I paying more for it when it's only a ½ gram compared to a full gram of botanicals or live resin? And here we're going to talk about it, you guys. Get ready. Let's jump right into it. Solventless does not just mean that they don't use a solvent. There's obviously a process that they have to use. The reason why it's more expensive and why people are willing to pay for it is because most of it is done by hand. There are like mechanical ways that you can do it, but most people do it by hand. The reason why it's called live rosin and live resin is because when the plant reaches full maturity, they crop it down, they cut it down, and they immediately freeze the plant. When they freeze the plant, it completely preserves all of the terpene heads. That's those little crystals that are like all over your plant, right? The frostier it looks, the more terpene heads it has on it, right? So they want to preserve that because that preserves the high that you can get, and it preserves the flavor that the plant comes with. So that's already the first step. That's completely different from botanicals. Now where it becomes different from live resin to solventless is that once they're ready to use the product, right, they pull it out of the freezer, and what they do is usually what they'll do is they'll wash the plant. So they'll throw it in like a container, they'll put ice, water, and then they'll put the nugs right in there, frozen as they come. And the reason why they do that is because while they're stirring, they're usually doing it by hand, and it could be done mechanically as well by like a machine. And so all it does is it stirs that bud up with the water and the ice, and the water force those terpene heads to fall off. Terpene heads, if you ever smoke wax, if you've ever taken dabs, or even if you look at your pens or your pods, you can tell that it's like an oil, like a thick oil. It's not watery, right? So the reason why is because the terpene heads are water phobic. That means that they don't blend well with the water, they don't get along with the water. So instead of like mixing into the water, they stay above the water, they stay separate from the water. Once they're done stirring for however long they want to stir, they drain all that water into containers. In those containers, they have mesh bags that have little holes in them, and they go from like 60 to, I think they use up to like 190 or something like that. The bigger the hole, the more plant matter and other kinds of stuff can fit through it. So you want actually a smaller hole, and I believe that's like 45, or is it 60? It might be like 45 is like the number that they like, because that's the right size for the terpene heads, and you only get the terpene heads, and that's why you'll pay more for that one than you would pay for the bigger holes, because it might allow plant matter in. So they lay all of it out on trays, and they kind of let it dry because it's kind of wet still a little bit. Basically, that's what would be called bubble hash. So now it's like a fine powder, right? But that's not what you're smoking. So what they'll do next is they'll put it into another little paper, and they'll fold it, close it, and now what they're gonna do is they're gonna put that into like a press that also heats up a little bit. It warms up, so as it's pressing that powder, those terpene heads, it's heating them up, forcing the oil to melt out of it, and that's what they collect, and that is the live rosin. That is the solventless rosin, you guys. And that's why these pods are a lot more expensive, is because the labor that goes into it requires actual people to do it, and it actually requires a lot more effort, and that's why it's more expensive, you guys. That's why for the ½ gram you're paying this much for a solventless versus like the full gram of a botanical or a live resin, which you'll be paying something around this area here. And why should I pay for the solventless when I could pay less for like the botanicals or the live resin? And here's the thing, if you're balling on a budget, if you're a new smoker, go for the botanicals. By all means, go for the botanicals. If you smoke more regularly, then why not invest in the live resin? It's a little bit more expensive, but it's still not that bad. It's still affordable. Solventless, this is for people that want a really clean smoke and aren't willing to spend the extra amount of money on it. Also, the high is very different. With the botanical blends, you're getting pretty much nothing but THC. And I know you're thinking, isn't THC weed, or isn't THC what we want? Yes, but there are also other cannabinoids in the plant, and you're not getting any of those when you're smoking distillate. When you're smoking live resin, you're getting more of those, but when you're smoking solventless, it's the cleanest that it can be. And that's why I tell people, if you can afford it and if you don't mind spending the extra money, go for the solventless. You'll never regret it. The flavor comes through like crazy, you guys. Pink menthol. Also, this video, I don't even know how long it is now, but that's my first hit, the menthol right here. The pink menthols taste so damn good. And what I love about these, as you can tell, is how I can hit it and it's so smooth. I can even talk while the smoke is still in me. I can blow it out and I'm still talking, no cough. Anyway, you guys, let's get right into the video. Let's go ahead and rate this product. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. I'm still waiting for my turn, man. Here are the pods right here. I'm not even going to go through a few of these steps just because it's pretty much the same thing as the other ones. Step one, the accessibility or the availability of them. Number two, I think, is going to be variety, how many flavors there are. I will put down how many of the solventless flavor pods they have for you to choose from, and I'll give it a rating right about here. I think number three has to do with like the packaging. Packaging is very similar for all three of them, so it gets pretty much the same score. Difficulty to open, same thing. Sticker, push button here, pull it out. So all these, we're gonna fly through them. We don't need to go through them again in every single video. Wow, that one felt a little bit difficult to open. This one right here, solventless, 100% rainbow bright. So here's the very first one, and I think from here it goes into like the design. The design is very similar, circular hole right there at the very top. So again, we're gonna skip that one, or that might be number 5. Number 4 might be difficulty to open. Then we go into number 6. I think number 6 has to do with function. So without further ado, let's switch out that pod there. Let's put this new pod in here, solventless. This one is the rainbow bright, you guys. And I think that leads us into step number 7, which is the flavor of this pod specifically. Sorry, you guys, the mosquitoes are fucking me up right now. Oh my god. Let's talk about the flavor of this pod. What the hell? For flavor on this pod right here, I know that I gave the other ones a 0.75, but I'm just reviewing those ones as individual as the pod itself. Not as a company. As a company, I guess it gets a 0.75 overall. Like I said, it's not the top of the top, but it's doing everything right, which would be a 0.5, but it's doing it in a way that's very enjoyable, that's very smooth, in a way that's very, I don't know what else trumps enjoyable, you know what I mean? I'm giving this a 0.75 for flavor. The flavor is, it's fantastic, it's fresh, it's natural, it tastes kind of like, it's not fruity, it's just very mild. This one right here is going to be the pink menthol. Okay, maybe a little minty. Ooh. A little minty, but more like in a root way, you know. It's kind of earthy. It's really earthy is what it is. I know I've described some things such as like if you were to get like a root or something, like a maybe like a long leaf or a stem, and then you kind of scrape it a little bit with your nail and you kind of like smell it or like taste the tip of your nail, like that plant that gets stuck there, it's very earthy like that. Oh my god, you know what? This reminds me of walking down Home Depot by the lumber section. Just that smell that you can even taste, you know what I mean? Like, that's kind of what this reminds me of a little bit. What the hell? Shit. That's the pink menthol, you guys. Damn. Let me put this one back on. Yep. I think I'm gonna give this a 0.75 because the flavor is good. I just like this one a little bit better. If you see pink menthol and rainbow bright, I recommend you get this one. The rainbow bright just tastes a little bit more enjoyable to me, you know what I mean? Like, it's not that there's anything wrong with it, but I would go for this one again, and I would get this one if it's the only one that they have. I'm not gonna not get it, but if it's the only one that they have, or maybe it's another one that I've never tasted, I might go for this one if it's down to those two. Still a 0.75 for the grade though, because it's really enjoyable. Let's talk about smoothness on both of them. Let's talk about them in general because it's solventless, right? For the smoothness, I think I'm gonna give it a I'm gonna give it a 1. I have to give it a 1. I have to give it a 1. I owe it a 1 because, you know, like, damn, I haven't really been coughing. I might have coughed one time, but it's because it's my first smoke of the day. So don't judge me on that hit there. Don't judge them on that hit there. But damn, this is actually really, really smooth. I'm gonna have to give it a 1 for the smoothness. Price, again, a little bit more expensive. Let me pull up the exact price here in Fresno in California. God, man, these mosquitoes are fucking me up, dude. I'm all bit up. I've been out here for maybe less than 20 minutes and I'm bit up everywhere. My arms, my elbows, my ankles, my neck, everything is bit up, man. Let me double check that really quick for you guys. Solventless. For the half gram, ladies and gentlemen, for the half gram, as you can see right there, 44 bones for the half gram. That's insane. 44 compared to fucking 32 for the gram. Oh, it's a little bit hard, man. I'm not gonna lie, it's a little bit hard, but shit, dude. I'm feeling smacked though. I'm feeling high. I don't even know why I have it in my hand. I think I'm done with this. I think this is the end of the video, you guys. For strength, I'm gonna give this thing a whole ass 0.75 because I know some people like to smoke and get blitz right off the bat, but I feel like most people, when you smoke, you kind of want to just socialize, you know, you kind of want to just vibe, maybe chill a little bit. You don't want to get stony baloney out of your mind right away, you know, and then have to put down the joint or put down the blunt, or, you know, maybe not even finish the dab or the bong hit or whatever. I don't know, that's just me. I want to be able to sit there and smoke for a little bit. I don't want to have to rush through my session. So it's a 0.75 on the strength. Not my preference, but just how I feel the strength overall is, which I really like that because, again, like I said, I want to just chill and smoke. We have more videos coming out. We're going to try to do more challenges, blinker challenges. We're going to try to play a game as well with the community and with the homies. And yeah, come back for the next video, you guys. We're going to be actually reviewing right now the Birdies pre-rolls. So I have them right here. I'm going to turn this off, start it up again, and we're going to get right into those. So peace out.